Hey, what's up guys? In this Affinity tutorial, we're going to learn how the curves tool works. So let's get started. Right now, I'm in the Develop Studio with this photo that I took in Cartagena, Colombia. And I'm going to go to the Tones section and open up the Curves tool. I'm going to activate it by putting a check mark here. And in order to understand the Curves tool, we need to take a look at this graph in two ways. The first part is this rectangle or this background graph part, and the second part is this diagonal line, which represents the tonal range. So going to the graph part and these rectangles here, the curves tool is broken down into shadows on the left, highlights on the right, and the midtones in the middle. So once again, the shadows, midtones, and highlights. Now this diagonal curve or this diagonal line, it represents the tonal range, as I said, but you know that the tonal range is not linear, but the curves tool represents it as a linear model. So that's where it becomes a little bit tricky, because below this curves tool, anything in this bottom triangle is considered the shadow. So it gets darker if I move the curves tool towards the bottom right corner. And if I move it towards this triangle, the top left triangle or the top left corner, it becomes brighter. So let me demonstrate that to you. So once I click, hold, and pull or push down the curves here with this node, it becomes darker, the image. The midtones are getting darker, the shadows are getting darker, and the highlights are getting darker. Now, if I do the opposite, click, hold, and drag and move it up, it's becoming brighter. So the midtones are getting brighter, the shadows are getting brighter, and the highlights are getting brighter. Now, I can click on this, or it's already selected, I can press delete or backspace to delete it. Now, to demonstrate the classic S curve, which darkens the shadows and brightens the highlights, I can click, hold, and drag right here, and I can move around this nodal point, but I'll just keep it like this. So I made the shadows right here darker, but I also made the highlights and the midtones darker as well. So in order to put the S curve and add more contrast to the highlights or brighten up the highlights, I can add a point here, click, hold, and drag and move it up. Now I'm brightening the highlights, and now I'm darkening the shadows. So there's two different parts right here. And now you can see there's a lot of contrast in this image. In fact, there's too much contrast. I overcooked it. So what I can do is I can just make the change very subtle. So I can move the nodal point closer to the middle, and I can move this one closer to the middle. And I'll just put a slight contrast here. So here's the before, and here's the after. And of course, I can add as many points as I want. I can make it look like I'm on drugs or something and just do some crazy stuff, and it starts looking weird. And remember, this is a curve, so everything stays connected. So if I move one node point, the curve on the other side of each node point will change, and the adjacent nodes may also change. So keep that in mind. I'm going to reset this here. Now, the x-axis and the y-axis, there's no labels for it, but the x-axis represents the input and the y-axis represents the output. So to better demonstrate that, I'm going to click, hold, and drag this point here, and I'm going to map the points, or I'm going to map the shadows. So I'm making the darkest parts darker. In other words, what I'm doing is mapping the black point, which is a classic photography editing technique of mapping the black point. So you can see here I'm mapping the black point until it just gets ridiculous. And I can do the same thing here. I can map the white point, and I'm mapping the whitest part to make it whiter. If I move it along the y-axis or the output, it just washes out the image. So the shadows are decreasing and it washes out. The same thing here, the highlights are decreasing and it just gets darker and it washes out. One thing you need to keep in mind is if I go to the basic section here, there's already a automatic tone curve applied. So I can deactivate it or I can activate it again. So you need to keep that in mind. For the most part, if you're not doing product photography or if you're not looking to do strict color grading or tonal range grading, you should keep this on. It saves a lot of time, but if you want to keep it off by default, you can go to the tools section here, go to default tone curve, and then you can just go to do not apply. Once you click on do not apply and close it, you do need to reopen the image, but for the most part, I think standard works pretty well. It gives you a good starting point. But if we deactivate it on this image, and then I do some crazy S-curve again, remember the last time I did it, it was a little bit too much. Well, now it looks a little bit better, but this image still looks dark. So I need to add another point. And now you can see I have more control of this S-curve where it's not overcooking the image. So that's one example of how the curves tool works, and hopefully you guys understand it better. So just remember, the left side is shadows, the middle is midtones, and the right side is highlights. And if I move anything below like this, it gets darker. If I move it up, it gets brighter. So I'll just reset that here. Now I'll go to this image here, and you can see this image is underexposed. So it's on the darker side, and I can tell it's on the darker side just by looking at this histogram. So remember how I showed you, if I activate this curves tool right here, I can map the input, so I can make the whitest part whiter. So I'm making the white point or changing the white point just like this. Now that corrects it. I still want to make the shadows a little bit brighter, so I can map the shadows or brighten the shadows, I should say. And I think that looks good, and decrease the highlights like that. And you can see that's a good starting point. If I go to the basic section, you already see the tone curve is already there. I'll deactivate it and I'll give you a better example. Now I'll reset this and I will go overcook this curve right here or map the white point like that. And now you can see I can brighten the shadows, decrease the highlights here or the midtones, and that looks a little bit better. So you got to really play with it, but as we can see, the tone curve right here, the default standard one, it gives a good starting point. The other thing I want to show you is with this image here, I'm going to go to develop and I'm going to go to the Pixel Studio here. I'm going to go to the adjustment layers. I'll go to curves. And one thing I can do with the curves tool here is you can see it looks a little bit different here. We have the x-axis and the y-axis already, and then we can map it a little bit more or different, just like that. I can click on this picker tool. I can click, hold, and drag in the shadows and make it darker right here. And you can see it got darker right here. And then I can click, hold, and drag on this bird. And I can increase the highlights right here or the white point a little bit. Just like that. And let's see the before and after, before and after. So that looks pretty good. The other thing I want to show you is we can target the individual channels, the RGB channel. So remember with the RGB or the composite channel, the master channel here, it works by changing or adjusting the shadows and highlights. But if I go to the red channel, it works by adjusting the red and its complement, which is cyan. So if I pull it up here, I can make it red. If I pull it down, I can make it cyan. And it's a good way to do color grading, but you just got to be careful you don't go overboard. So while I have this red node selected, I'll press delete to remove it. And what I'll do is I will change the shadows to cyan, just like that a little bit, and change the highlights to red, just like that. So it's a very subtle change. So let's see the before and after, before and after. Keep in mind, I still have the master curve still activated. And then it's the same thing with the green channel. I can add green or magenta. I'll delete that node. And then there's the blue channel. I can add blue or yellow. So this is a neat way to precisely do some color grading with the RGB channels. I will delete this blue node by making sure I have it selected and just press delete. We also have this alpha channel, but that's a little bit more advanced and for a different tutorial, which I'll cover in a later video. But pretty much that's how the curves tool works, and hopefully you guys understand it now. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And as always, live easy, sleep breezy, and stay lovely.